My print-on-demand Etsy shop hit $1,000 in its first month being open, and I didn't have a single product that just went viral. I didn't throw a bunch of money behind ads, and I didn't have a huge following that was just flocking to buy my items. I just implemented a few simple strategies that I'm going to share with you today that really helped me get a jump start on the platform and set me up for success to scale this business long term. Now, if you feel like your Etsy shop is just sitting there with zero sales or making a few dollars a month, this is the video for you. And once you finish this, I want you to jump right into implementing some of these tips. And I know you're going to see a huge difference in the amount of traffic you're getting to your Etsy shop and hopefully the amount of sales and profit you are making every single month. So there's some really good ones in here. We're not going to waste any time and just jump right into the list. And for those of you that have been asking, I'm going to share a really exciting and personal health update at the very end, but I want to get to the really good stuff before that first. Now, the very first thing that I did when I jumped onto Etsy is I immediately started with those higher ticket items to sell. Now, I love selling stickers and mugs and hats just as much as the next person, but the reality is you're going to have to sell a lot of $5 stickers to make $1,000 or even multiple $1,000s in a month. But if you were selling items that range anywhere from $20 to $50+, you're going to have to make a lot less sales to get the same amount of revenue or profit. So when I was starting on my Etsy store, I already had some experience selling on several other print-on-demand platforms, my biggest other one being Amazon merch, and I knew that selling t-shirts, sweatshirts, crew necks, hoodies, those kind of things were going to be the ticket to scaling very fast. So I didn't start off by putting my designs on any of those smaller products. I went right away to t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and right away, if you're not 100% sure how to exactly sell items on Etsy or what types of products are really good products to make a decent amount of profit, I'm going to link Printify down below, who is the manufacturing partner that I sell on Etsy with, and they have a catalog of almost any type of product you would want to sell, but they have great quality, really low cost to sell basics like hoodies and crew neck sweatshirts, t-shirts, all of those kind of things. Now, the t-shirt that I sold right away from the get-go, and I still love selling because it's really that great mid-range, good quality t-shirt, is the Bella and Canvas 3001. So if you're not really sure where to start, definitely think about either starting with t-shirts or sweatshirts as more of a higher ticket item to get your shop up and running. Now, the next thing that I did that was huge in getting my shop a lot of momentum from the get-go is I leveraged what was already working on other print-on-demand platforms. Now, this tip is not going to necessarily apply to every one of you if you've never sold a single print-on-demand item or you've never made a design before, but if you've spent some time either selling designs on a place like Redbubble or Zazzle, TeePublic, maybe you have an Amazon account, maybe you've tried another print-on-demand platform, maybe you've even had another Etsy shop that kind of failed in the past. That is not a wasted opportunity. What I want you to do is take everything that worked well there and immediately start off with that in your new shop. Now, what really worked for me is I had been selling on Amazon merch for quite a while, so I already had an existing catalog of designs that I could pull from, and especially I had a grouping of designs that had already started making sales on Amazon. So right away, what I did is I prioritized putting every design that had ever made a sale on any other platform onto my Etsy shop. So that meant I had a whole catalog of items that were already proven winners. So I didn't have to waste time putting all of these designs that I didn't know if they would actually make sales or not. I knew people were looking for them, which definitely gave me an edge. Now, say for example, you have started on some other platforms, but you haven't necessarily made a lot of sales. Well, you can still use that data to kind of give you a jump start on a platform like Etsy. So for example, say you have a Redbubble account and you've uploaded a decent amount of items and you've only made 1 or 2 sales. Well, you can also draw from the items that have gotten a decent amount of views. But really what I want you to take from this is any experience that you have on any other platform is going to be huge in jumpstarting your Etsy account. So if you have any types of designs that are already doing well somewhere else, prioritize getting those up as soon as possible on your Etsy shop. Now, the next thing you need to do to really get your Etsy shop up and running, and what I did to make sure I was able to actually make profit in that first month, is I uploaded a lot of products. Now, I see so many new sellers getting very frustrated because they are starting on Etsy, they're starting on Amazon, and they're not really making a lot lot of progress quickly. And then when I dig deeper and I talk to them a little bit, I find out that maybe they're trying to upload one product a day, or they've uploaded maybe 15 to 20 new listings and they're wondering why people aren't purchasing them. Now, what I did and what I have seen for so many other sellers is that when you really prioritize getting more listings up, the sales are going to follow that. So in that first month, I'm talking I listed 100 to 200 new items in my Etsy shop. Now, I know that can seem very daunting, but the reality is only a small percentage of your items are ever going to make sales, but they are going to make up the majority of the profit for your entire store. So if you only have like 15 listings in your shop, that's not really giving Etsy enough to work with to have a small percentage of those products really carry the rest of the shop. But if you have 100, 200, 300 listings, even if only 10 or 15 of them do really, really well, that's enough to make a decent amount of profit. Now, even if you can't accomplish getting 200 listings up in your first month, if you try your best to stick to uploading 3 or 4 new products, that is going to be probably the most important thing that you could take from this whole video. Every single day, doing several product uploads and just consistently working little by little to build that catalog is going to be where the sales follow. Now, if that seems very daunting, the next thing that you need to focus on is systematizing everything and making your process streamlined so you can do it in just a few minutes. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see new sellers making or new Etsy shop owners doing is they are spending so much time on every listing. They're spending an hour researching and an hour making their design. Then they're scrolling through all of the products on Printify and taking a long time to find one that works. Then they're taking so long to do their SEO, their title, all of that. And by the time they're done, they've spent 4 hours on one single listing. Now, I know as a beginner, it's hard to imagine being able to get that process down to just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but it is very possible. And it all comes down to the systems you implement from the beginning. So just a few things that I want to emphasize right away is 1, having a manufacturing partner that is super seamlessly integrated into Etsy. Now, I talked about Printify before, and that is who, again, I would recommend for this very purpose because they are integrated so seamlessly with Etsy. Every little change that you make, every edit you do on Printify is going to automatically go over to Etsy, so you're not editing things in 2 different places. And they have a lot of tools that are geared specifically for Etsy sellers to make the process even simpler. So right away, I would start with them. Again, they are totally free to use. You just create an account with them and you can start selling on Etsy today. But the other thing that I would do is focus on simplifying both your design process and your mockup process. Now, to make sales, you're going to have good designs. You're going to have good mockups, but they don't have to take so long to make. So in the design realm, I would recommend starting with some kind of design suite that has templates available to use for print on demand. Now, there's tons of them on the market. The one that I like and talk about a lot is called Kittle. I will also link them down below, as well as any discounts that I have for you guys. But what I love about them is they are really geared towards print on demand sellers, and they have thousands of templates that basically once you find a niche, you can just plug in that element and you have a design that's really ready to go from there. And then the other part of this process is streamlining how you make your mockups. Now, mockups is not something to skimp on. It's not a time to just use the auto-generated ones from the platform you're selling on. You do need to make your own mockup, but you don't have to make an original, unique mockup for every single listing you do. The way that I was able to get a lot of products uploaded during that first month on Etsy is I picked 3 to 4 solid mockups and I used them for every single listing. And I got those mockups on Placeit, who I will also link down below. But a lot of new sellers are nervous that if they use the same mockup, that it is going to be kind of a dead giveaway to buyers, that they're going to be very sketched out by seeing a shop with a bunch of the same mockup. And I just want to put your mind at ease about that thing. So 1, if you're using 3 to 4, there is going to be some kind of variety in your shop if someone is looking at your entire catalog of items. But the reality is 99+% of shoppers are never going to see your shop. They're only going to interact with the exact listing that they click on. Because if they search something like cute cute nurse shirt for Halloween, they're going to find a whole page of Etsy listings. They might click on yours and then add to cart and complete their entire order without ever actually clicking on your shop name and browsing through everything else. So it doesn't even matter if your mockups look like other mockups in your shop as well. And even if they do click on your shop and see duplicate mockups, that's totally fine. Even big box stores do this. Places like Target, Walmart, they are using the same mockups over and over and just changing the elements on the apparel items. It's a very common practice and people are used to seeing that, so it's not going to prevent them from buying items from you. But if you just pare your really good mockups down to 3 or 4, it's going to simplify the process of making them immensely. You're not going to have to scroll through pages of mockups on a place like Placeit. You just have your favorited 3 or 4. You can throw your artwork on it and it's going to auto format, and you can have a mockup made in just a minute or less. Now, the other part that you can do to really systematize your listings is anytime you are selling in the same niche, you can use most of the SEO that you have done for other listings. So for example, like if you were selling a nurse Halloween shirt, like I just mentioned, if you have 5 or 10 other designs in a similar niche, so either nurse plus holiday or even different variations of nurse Halloween shirts, you can almost exactly copy the title, description, the tags from your other listings. You might want to tweak a few words, but it's totally okay if you're reusing the SEO for items that are very, very similar. It's what I have done for years on both Amazon and my Etsy account, and it has worked really well, especially if I found that one listing made a sale. Well, you best believe I'm going to be reusing that title, that description, or making very minor changes to it because it's already proven to work well. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and do all of the work every single time. Just make systems to kind of keep what you've already done and reuse it time after time. Now, the next thing that I did that really helped me make over $1,000 in my first month was I used buyer intent keywords in my SEO. Now, if you don't know exactly what this means, I want to explain this very simply to you, and I have lots of other videos that talk about SEO as well if you do want to check those out. But a big mistake new sellers make is when they upload their listings, they are basically just describing exactly what is on the shirt. So for example, that nurse Halloween shirt that I talked about, if it had maybe a witch on it and it had a bunch of medical elements, they would say something like witch in a nurse uniform, cute Halloween shirt. Now, a buyer is never going to search up something like shirt with witch in a nurse uniform. That is just not what they're going to do. What they're going to do is look up something like Halloween gift for nurse or cute Halloween nurse shirt. So you want to make sure that you are filling your title and your description with those keywords that a buyer might actually put in the search bar. Describing what's on your shirt is not helping anyone. They can see the picture of what's there. What you want to do is fill the title and the description with ways to help buyers get to you. So make sure you're really getting in the mind of a buyer, and for all of the listings that you're doing this month, putting those buyer intent keywords in. So things like gift for blank or funny blank shirt. Those are all really, really great things that people search. And there's a lot of tools to help you find these keywords too. I will link one of my favorites down below. It's called Sales Samurai. It's for Etsy sellers and really helps you do a lot of this keyword research and figure out what people are looking for. So that is very helpful, but you also can kind of just get in the mind of a buyer and think, what would I search if I was looking for a gift like this, instead of just describing what is on the items you are selling. Now, the next thing that I did in this first month is I consistently ran 10 to 20% off sales. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't just take the month that I started and put like, okay, April 1st to April 30th, I am going to run a 20% off sale on everything. That does not get the kind of conversion we are looking for when we're first starting, or really anytime in our print on demand business. What I did is every couple of days, I would run a new 10 or 20% off sale on my catalog of products. Now, what this does is create some urgency because the buyer can see that there's only a limited time amount left on that sale and they can kind of see it ticking down. Now, even though we're going to be consistently running this, this is going to create urgency for people to put the item in their shopping cart and check out. They aren't going to see, oh, there's still 27 days left in this sale. I can kind of just think about it, and if I still want this item, I will come back. Now, with running sales, you're going to have to calculate this into your profit margin. So for example, if you wanted to sell your t-shirts around $25, I wouldn't price them at $25 and still put 20% off. You're going to have to price them higher than that so you can factor in that discount that the customer is going to get. Now, the next thing that I did in this first month that I know really helped me to make more sales a lot faster is even in the first few days, the first few weeks, I immediately doubled down on whatever was working. So for example, when I made my very first sale on Etsy, I immediately took note of what it was, what type of product it was. So was it a sweatshirt from Printify? Was it a t-shirt? I took note of what kind of design it was, exactly what niche it was in, what kind of mockup I had used, and then I immediately would take that information and make 10 or 20 listings that were very similar to that. So say in this example, I made a sale on a t-shirt for Labradoodle owners. Well, I am going to take that information and I'm going to make 10 other shirts for Labradoodle owners, or I'm going to take that same design and I'm going to put it on other product types. So I know this design works really well. I'm going to put it on a hoodie. I'm going to also put it on a crew neck sweatshirt when I had only had it on a t-shirt before. And I'm going to make maybe other variations for other pet types with this. So really just kind of rack your brain and think of how many other related different listings you could make based on just the information that people are looking for this item because I made a sale. Making a sale in print on demand is really the hardest thing you can do. So anytime that you make a sale, that is huge. That means that you know what people are looking for, you know how to make good designs, you know how to do good SEO. So don't let that go to waste. Use all of that information. It's truly the most valuable thing, and it's going to be the most valuable information as you grow this print on demand business. Anytime I make a sale, I am still taking note of what that is. Now, a lot of times I will experiment and try different things. I'll do research and add new listings in different niches, but anytime I have tried something and it's made a sale, I'm always going to find a way to double down on that and make multiple different listings in that same niche or very related niches to that. Now, if you feel like you are uploading a lot of products, you're doing all of the things that I mentioned, it's possible you still could be making a few other mistakes that a lot of beginners do, so don't feel bad. But I do have an entire list of some of the top mistakes that I see new sellers making and how you can actually fix those to really grow your business this year. And like I promised, I did want to give you guys a really quick, exciting health update. I know so many of you guys have been thinking about me as I've been continuing to go on this cancer journey, and I wanted to tell you that I have actually just completed all of my active treatment for my cancer diagnosis. Now, that's super exciting. I don't have any more chemo appointments ahead of me. I'm going to be able to just kind of get better every single day and kind of regain a lot of the strength that I've lost throughout this process. Now, I still haven't had my final PET scan to kind of make sure that I'm in remission, make sure everything has worked well. I will have that later on in the summer and definitely will report back to you. But my whole team is very sure that everything has worked. I'm feeling good about all of the treatment that I have done, and I'm very confident that the cancer is gone, that it won't be returning, that I'll be able to be in remission, hopefully for the rest of my life. But I am just so thankful to be out of my active treatment. It definitely was one of the hardest things I've done, but I had so much support of my friends and family, and even I know you guys were kind of thinking of me, praying for me, sending good thoughts along the journey. So I just wanted to thank you so much, and I'm excited to kind of dive into this channel and all the resources I can give to you guys now that I'm gonna have a lot more strength coming back. So thanks for sticking with me along this journey. It's been so helpful and encouraging as I've been going through this, and I just truly can't thank you guys enough. But again, I will link that other video that I talked about right here. If you do want to watch that after that, I highly recommend it. And I just want to wish you guys all the best if you are beginning a new Etsy shop, if you're trying to scale one you already have, or just tweak some things to actually make it more profitable this year. I know you can do it, so stick with it.